Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the softball field here at Milford High School, as Milford TV is happy to bring you coverage of Scarlet Hawks athletics. This is Tim Coet on the call as we continue this 2018-19 spring sports season with more softball action for you. Today, the Milford Scarlet Hawks hosting a rival from within the Hockomock League in the Taunton Tigers. And this has always been an enjoyable rivalry over the last couple of seasons, as these two programs have been right at the top in terms of softball programs in the entire state. But of course, this year a bit of a different year than what fans have been accustomed to for Milford softball, a bit of a rebuilding season with a very young roster. And as a result, Milford comes into the matchup today at 1-6 overall on the season. Taunton picking up right where they left off from their state championship run last year. They are now 7-1 overall on the season. And for Milford, looking to break out of an extended offensive funk, they have scored just one run on a total of 7 hits in their last 4 games combined. Currently on a 4-game losing streak, and several of those games have been losses of the mercy rule variety. So trying to break out of that today, but again, the competition not getting any easier for Milford as they face off against the defending D1 state champs, Taunton, joining the ranks of Milford and King Philip as teams representing the Hockomock League as Division I state champs. It has been a Hawk team enjoying the Division I state championship each of the last 3 seasons, proving just how dominant softball is in this league. And Taunton once again in state championship form here in 2019. They actually suffered their first loss of the season in their last game just yesterday, facing off against a very tough Franklin team. They lost a close one, 2-1, and that ended up breaking up a very long winning streak, a 28-game win streak that dated back to last season, snapped in that loss yesterday for Taunton. So looking to hit the reset button to build up another winning streak here today. But it has been dominance in every sense of the word for Taunton. You like batting? They have 9 players hitting over 400 so far on the year. You like pitching? Well, they certainly have that too. 2 of the top arms in the Hockomock League in Alexa and Kelsey White. Both players spotless records on the season and ERAs well below 1. As a matter of fact, Alexa White, who will get the nod in the circle here today, with a 0.00 ERA. It does not get any better than that. So Milford will have to bring their A game here today if they hope to keep pace with the defending champs. And we are quickly about set to get this game underway. We will see the Taunton lineup come to the plate here in Milford. Quickly we'll bring you that starting lineup. Leading it off is the third baseman, Jamie Brown, with Abby McDonough, the right fielder, batting second. Hannah Aldrich bats third and plays shortstop, with Peyton Siglarski, the designated player, hitting cleanup. Mackenzie McAloon, the second baseman, bats fifth, with Ava Venturelli, the left fielder, batting sixth. Kelsey White plays center field and bats seventh, with Taya DaCosta, the first baseman, batting eighth. And in the ninth spot and catching today is Riley Murphy. And in the circle for the Scarlet Hawks for this game today is the freshman Olivia Morelli, who is ready to fire in the first pitch of the game. And it misses for ball 1. Jamie Brown at the dish, digging into that left side batter's box. Wind up and the 1-0 pitch, and this is smacked out to center field. On the move is Swain. That is over her head. It'll touch down right in front of the fence. Extra bases for Brown, who cruises into second base with a leadoff stand-up double.
Now give me the girl on second, Scott. I'm off you now.
So just 2 pitches in, and Jamie Brown hitting that one right on the screws out to dead center field over April Swain's head. And extra bases to lead off the ball game immediately. The Tigers in business as now the right fielder Abby McDonough stands in. Just underway here in the top of the first inning on a beautiful afternoon in Milford. Showing bunt on the first pitch is McDonough. She sends it foul down the third base line. Defensively for Milford, it is Elise Fauerbeck behind the plate, Carly Ferreira at third, Amanda Wenkus at short, Megan Hart at second, and Lucy Creedon at first. Left to right in the outfield, Taylor Waldrop, April Swain, and Molly Muskilly. Morelli now with an 0-1 pitch. And that one high, and again McDonough showing bunt. She pulled the bat back to even the count at a ball and a strike. It has been a whole lot of wet weather in the area over the last couple of weeks, but sneaking in a nice spring day here today. As the bunt now is dropped down in front of the pitcher circle, Morelli springs out there to make the play, and the throw to first base in time to get the out. So credit McDonough with the sacrifice bunt. That pushes Jamie Brown now to third base with less than 2 outs. And now it brings up the shortstop, Hannah Aldrich. And pretty much 1 through 9 in this lineup. You have batting averages over 400. The league leaders in batting in the Hockomock League are littered with Taunton players. That first pitch delivered high for ball one. And the next pitch into Aldrich is sent down the third base line, but foul. A rifle shot down there. Whizzing past our third base camera setup. Hannah Aldrich came into this week with a .480 batting average, 12 hits and 25 at-bats, and already 14 runs batted in and 6 homers on the season. A power bat in the middle of this Taunton lineup. And ready to see a 1-1 pitch now. This is sent on the ground to third base, in and out of the glove of Ferreira. Here comes the run to the plate, and the throw to first base is there in time. So good job for Ferreira to stick with it to get the sure out at first. But in the back door from third comes Brown. And Taunton is able to strike first. They take a 1-0 lead. So the bases are empty now with 2 outs. Morelli looking to get out of the inning now with minimal damage as she faces Peyton Siglarski. Foul to the backstop brings the count to 0-1. Siglarski with an unusually high number for a softball lineup with that 87 on her back. It sends a shot out to center field. That's going to drop in front of April Swain. The second Taunton hit of the inning keeps the inning alive. Solid line drive out into center field for Siglarski. She is now at first base, and that will bring up the second baseman, Mackenzie McAloon. And the first pitch of the at-bat is looped foul over the backstop and out of play. Milford's lone win on the season came back on April 11th in a non-conference matchup against Framingham. Milford was really able to break out the bats in that game to the tune of 14 runs. Here's the 0-1 pitch, hit hard on the ground to third base, but that kicks foul. Unfortunately, Milford was not able to build on that offensive momentum, as in the 4 games since, as we mentioned in the open, just 1 run combined in their last 4 outings. Here's an 0-2 pitch now. This is a line shot down the left field line, but again, foul. Morelli ahead of McAloon, 0-2, trying to find a pitch to put her away and bring an end to this top of the first. Siglarski poised at first base. Here's another 0-2 pitch. It's sent slowly on the ground to short. The flip from Wenkus to second base gets there just in time to cut down Siglarski for the force play that ends the inning. So all things considered, Morelli doing a good job minimizing the damage in the first inning. She allows a run, strands that runner on base. So through half an inning of play, it is 1-0. Taunton. Milford will take their first swings of the game when we come back right after this here on Milford TV. Bottom of the first inning now, Milford with their first at-bats against the starter for Taunton, Alexa White, who, as I mentioned, has been dominant on the season. The starting lineup for Milford, Olivia Morelli, the starting pitcher, leads it off. Amanda Wenkus, the shortstop, bats second. First baseman Lucy Creedon bats third, with Carly Ferreira in at third base and batting cleanup, as the first pitch is lined to the backstop off the bat of Morelli. Elise Fauerbach bats fifth and catches, with Megan Hart, the second baseman, batting sixth. April Swain is your center fielder, batting seventh, with Molly Muskilly, the right fielder, batting eighth. And in the ninth spot, playing left field, is Taylor Waldrop. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and late on the cut was Morelli, and you can already see the tremendous velocity out of the right hand of Alexa White. Already poised for another pitch. She's ahead of her counterpart, 0-2, and the next pitch drifts up and away. One and two the count. And the next pitch, and that's on the inside corner for strike three. Perfectly placed for Alexa White. came into this week with a 2-0 record in 12 innings pitched. She's already struck out 29 batters to just 3 walks, and the aforementioned perfect ERA. This Taunton program has a knack for developing dominant ace pitching year after year. And they not only have one, they have two, as Alexa and Kelsey White have been quite the duo so far on the year. A rising pitch out of the hand of White gets past the bat of Amanda Wenkus. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. The windup and the pitch, and it's swung on and missed. And right now, these Milford bats just trying to get some semblance of timing down. Wenkus back in the box. The look in by White, and now the pitch. And that's on the inside edge once again for a called third strike. Back-to-back hitters striking out looking against Alexa White in the bottom of the first. And now with the bases empty and 2 down, that brings up Lucy Creedon. Creedon, of course, the final remaining member of the 2017 state championship team on this Milford roster. She has seen some high leverage battles against Taunton in the past. Here's the 1-0 pitch, and getting a piece to foul it away. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, and the base is empty. Defensively for Taunton, it is Riley Murphy behind the plate, Jamie Brown at third, Hannah Aldrich at short, Mackenzie McAloon at second, and Tea DaCosta at first. Left to right in the outfield, Ava Venturelli, Kelsey White, and Abby McDonough. A swing and a miss on a high fastball from Alexa White, who is 1 strike away from K'ing the side here in the first. Here is the next pitch, and that one too high. Creedon able to lay off. The stare-in once again from White, and now the pitch, and it's a dribbler sent down the first base line in fair territory. Waiting for it is DaCosta. The tag applied, and that will do it in the bottom half of the first inning. Contact made by Creedon, but a weak ground out to first base, and we're through with 1 inning of play here from Milford, where it is a 1-0 lead for the Taunton Tigers here on Milford TV. Getting started with the second inning now in Milford, a 1-0 lead for Taunton over the Scarlet Hawks, as the Tigers will bring up batters 6, 7, and 8 against the freshman starting pitcher for Milford, Olivia Morelli. This is her 5th appearance in the pitcher circle this season. It is her first start. She's thrown 6 2/3 innings coming into this game here today, and a learning experience at the varsity level for the freshman. She's allowed a total of 27 hits, 23 runs, 17 of them earned through those 6 2/3 innings. And of course, her first appearance, she really got thrown into the fire as Megan Hart had gotten the start and was injured on a line drive that came back to the circle. That was in Milford's season debut in a game we covered here on Milford TV. Fortunately, Hart okay, and in the lineup today at second base. But Morelli getting her first start. She's jumped ahead of this first batter in the second inning, Ava Venturelli. The count 0-2. And the next pitch is a liner out to center field, down for a hit. So all 3 of Taunton's hits so far in these first 2 innings have been right back up the middle. Morelli not with the same level of velocity that we're seeing on the other side from Alexa White, so she is really reliant on her command. As this first pitch drops down in the dirt, skips away from Fauerbeck, and that will allow Venturelli to advance to second base. Likely go as a passed ball, putting the runner into scoring position, and a 1-ball, no-strike count on Kelsey White. Taking a called strike on the outer edge, Kelsey White. The other half of the starting pitching tandem for Taunton, but today getting the start out in center field. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And that misses. Two balls, one strike, a runner in scoring position at second base. And this is a line drive, or more of a fly ball out to center field. That hangs up long enough for April Swain to make the catch. Tagging up and moving on to third base is Venturelli. Coach DeVito not happy with the relay throw back in, as that throw came in from April Swain towards shortstop instead of to third base, where the runner was advancing. So Venturelli was able to advance with no problem. A fly out to center field for Kelsey White, one down in the inning. And now a bunt drop down by Tea DaCosta sent foul. Similar scenario playing out in the second inning, as Taunton was able to get a runner to third base with one down. The runner coming home on that ground ball back to the circle. Morelli going to first base. May have had a play at the plate. It would have been close if she had flipped to Fauerbach covering the plate, but ultimately decided to go the sure route at first. So DaCosta out 1-3, but will get the RBI on the ground out. It's the second RBI on a ground out for Taunton in as many innings as they take a 2-0 lead. And two outs now and the base is empty for the number 9 hitter, Riley Murphy. And Morelli with an 0-1 pitch. Hit on the ground to shortstop. A clean play for Wenkes and a good strong throw to first base. Nice looking play there for Amanda Wenkes to complete the 6-3 ground out that ends the inning. Another run scored for the visitors. So we'll head to the bottom of the second inning with the score now 2-0 Taunton here on coverage of Milford High School Athletics on Milford TV. Middle of the order bats due up for Milford in the second inning. Carly Ferreira, Elise Fauerbach, and Megan Hart testing their luck against Alexa White, who enjoyed a 1-2-3 first inning with 2 strikeouts. And before we see the first pitch of the inning, Alexa White wanting a new ball put in play. Carly Ferreira, the first batter to come to the plate in the inning. And ready to see now the first pitch from White. And it's a fastball swung on and missed. Ferreira with a .312 batting average on the season. Just 5 hits in 16 at-bats. Couple of extra base hits for Ferreira, a double and 2 triples. She's driven in 3 runs. Extra base potential out of that bat of Ferreira. And as we saw in the first game we covered earlier this season, almost constant communication from Coach DeVito down in the third base coach's box, trying to guide these hitters to catch up to the stuff of White. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and it's swung on and missed. Not going to happen this time, as Ferreira heads back to the dugout with the 3rd strikeout of the day already for White. Some impressive pitching all the way around the Hockomock League to start the season. You've got this tandem here in Taunton. Also, Bella Erdy once again putting in a fine season for North Attleboro. She is 4-0 on the year with an ERA of exactly 1.00. And Jackie Cherry, who has really stormed on the scene for Franklin, earning the victory against this Taunton team yesterday. She's 3-1 on the year with an ERA of 1.64. So the top 4 arms in the league, all with sub-2 ERAs. Nicole Baker also strong in the circle for Stoughton with a 2.66 ERA. And Mackenzie Bergdahl and Jenna Gittle for Attleboro also turning in strong starts to the season as well. A 1-ball, 2-strike count on Elise Fauerbach, getting the start behind the plate today. And Here is the 1-2 pitch, and it's a liner sent over the glove of the third baseman out into left field, and so it is Fauerbeck, the sophomore, who's able to collect the first Milford hit of the day, getting that one just over the outstretched glove of Jamie Brown. So a one-out base runner now for Megan Hart. And the first pitch of the at-bat inside for ball one. So we'll see if there's any change in Alexa White with that runner aboard. The high pitch is popped up foul over the backstop and out of play. Megan Hart looking to get it going with the bat, coming into the game today with an average of .056. Just one hit so far on the season. Here's the pitch. That is in for a strike. 1-2 on Hart with April Swain waiting on deck. And that 1-2 offering sent right off the back of the softball state championship placard here behind the backstop, which of course features the years 2012, 2013, and 2017. Taunton raising a championship banner of their own at the conclusion of last season. Here's a 1-2 pitch, and this is a line drive out into left center field for a hit. Up to second base goes Fauerbeck. One drifted over shortstop, dropping down into the shallow left center field grass. So Milford all of a sudden able to produce back-to-back hits to put the tying runs on here in the second inning. And that brings April Swain to the plate. Swain coming into action today batting .211. She does have 5 runs batted in, but showing bunt on the first pitch of her at bat, comes up empty for a strike. And 0-2 now the count. The bunt play likely off now with 2 strikes. Here's the next one, and this is a shot back up the middle for a base hit. The runner will be held at third base. 3 straight hits now for the Scarlet Hawks, and that will load the bases with 1 out for the number 8 hitter, Molly Moskili. So Milford making some adjustments against the stuff of Alexa White in the second inning. And a big spot now for Moskili. She takes the first pitch for a called strike 1. Moskili, one of the seniors on this roster. Looking for her first hit of the season. This would be a big spot for it. Takes a strike borderline on the outside part of the plate. 0-2. And now a swing and a miss, and Moskili just overmatched in the at-bat. White coming back with some of her best stuff. It's her second strikeout of the inning, and now a chance for Taunton to get out of the inning, but Taylor Waldrop looking for different results, trying to get Milford on the board. Bases loaded with now 2 outs, and a called strike 1 dished into Waldrop. The Milford bench alive, trying to spark a rally. But Milford once again struggling to catch up to these fastballs. A little more velocity on these pitches with the bases loaded. And now a 0-2 count on Waldrop. And White with her next delivery, and that is in for a called strike 3. So in the end, Alexa White able to strike out the side in the frame, and despite 3 consecutive hits in the inning, Milford fails to score, so we head on to the third inning now here in Milford. It remains 2-0 Taunton on this coverage of Milford High School softball on Milford TV. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Taunton. No runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Scarlet Hawks. Milford with a squander last inning, had the bases loaded with only 1 out, but Alexa White able to battle back to strike out the 8 and 9 hitters to strand those runners aboard. So we play on to the 3rd inning, a 1-ball, no strike count on Jamie Brown as we now go 2nd time through the Taunton lineup. Brown followed by Abby McDonough and Hannah Aldrich. Here's a 2-0 pitch, and that's up and away for ball 3. Brown way ahead in the count. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and it drops in the dirt for ball 4. So Brown walking on 4 pitches. And so that will now bring up Abby McDonough. McDonough with a sacrifice bunt in the 1st inning, looking to drop one down here. Good charge by Ferreira. And the throw to first base gets there in time. So you can already see a significant improvement, in particular in the infield defense for Milford from what we saw in game 1 on the year. A lot more sure-handed, confident on these plays. Ferreira putting the charge on that ball, was able to field it cleanly, throwing off balance to first base with plenty on it to get the out of McDonough. But once again, she comes through with a sacrifice bunt to push a runner into scoring position. Brown down to 2nd. And a first pitch strike into Hannah Aldrich, who has one of the 2 Taunton RBIs so far on the afternoon. This pitch gets away from the catcher. Here comes the throw to third base, not in time. Good read by Brown. As soon as that ball kicked away from the catcher, she was off and was able to beat the throw to third base. So 1-ball, 1-strike count. And that pitch drifts too high. A 2-ball, 1-strike count now on Aldrich. Morelli still working quickly and sends that pitch outside. One of the youngest players on this varsity roster for Milford, Olivia Morelli. Here's the next pitch, and this is clobbered in the air down to left field, but that hook's foul. Morelli not just one of the youngest players on the team. She is, in fact, the youngest, the only freshman on the varsity squad. Now with a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Aldrich, who showed off her power on that last swing, just could not keep it fair. Here's the 2-2. And beg your pardon, 3-ball, 2-strike count, as that will be ball 4. The scoreboard a little bit behind on the balls and strikes. So Aldrich trots down to first base with the 2nd walk of the inning. And you could see Morelli was really treading carefully with Aldrich in that at bat. So runners at the corners now with 1 out for Peyton Siglarski. And the runner immediately takes off on the first pitch, and Fauerbach trying to draw that runner away from third base, faking the throw to second base, instead sending it back to the circle, but nothing doing at third. So now 2 in scoring position. Trouble brewing as that pitch hits the outside corner. A good one from Morelli. 1-ball, 1-strike. Siglarski with a single, her first time up. Here's the 1-1. This time misses a little bit low and outside. 2 balls and a strike. Jamie Brown, the lead runner at third base. Hannah Aldrich at second. The designated player, Peyton Siglarski, at the dish. Sends a roller towards second base, scooped up by Swain. Fires right to first base to get the out there. And once again, an RBI scored on an infield ground out. Jamie Brown comes home An RBI for Sagarsky. And it is a 3-0 lead on the play. Hannah Aldrich able to advance to third base, so she is now the lone runner at third with 2 outs, and Mackenzie McAloon at the dish. Lays off a pitch high for a ball. McAloon grounded into an inning-ending force play that ended the first. And now a line drive out to left field. That touches down for a hit. Coming around to score is Aldrich. And a little trouble out in left field for Taylor Waldrop, and that allows McAloon to end up at second base. So an RBI for the number 5 hitter, Mackenzie McAloon, to make it now 4-0 Taunton. Starting to extend this lead out. And now a pitch skips in the dirt into Ava Venturelli. She has one of the 4 Taunton hits. It came to lead off last inning. And that pitch, a strike, popped in and out of the glove of Fauerbeck, but ruled a strike. Wind up and the pitch from Morelli, a tapper sent past the circle. Wenkus having to rush that throw to first base and gets it there just in time, getting Venturelli by a running step. Once again, a nice play turned in at short by Wenkus to bring an end to the inning. But 2-run score for Taunton in the frame. They take a 4-0 lead on Milford here on this coverage of Milford High School athletics on Milford TV. Home half of the third. It is now a 4-run deficit for Milford. Bit of a breeze blowing in towards the plate now as we get deeper into this game. And a swing and a miss as Milford now goes second time through their lineup. Olivia Morelli struck out looking in the first inning, now down 0-2 to Alexa White, and is able to grab just a piece of that one to stay alive. This Taunton Tigers offense comes into the game today averaging 11.6 runs per game. They've scored 4 through the first 3. Milford just trying to keep it close, trying to get something going offensively, but Morelli with a swing and a miss, she strikes out for the second time today. A golden opportunity going by the boards for Milford in the last frame as they loaded the bases but could not score. And now the base is empty with 1 out in the third for Amanda Wenkus. An off-balance swing and a miss for strike 1. This is a pitching performance that Milford has dished out more often than not over the previous decade, whether it was from the likes of Shannon Smith, Allie Atherton, or Kelly Reichert. Seeing that dominance on the other side here today from Alexa White. Here's her 0-2 pitch, and it's lifted in the air out to right field. Playable for McDonough. Settles underneath to make the catch. And it is 2 up and 2 down. A lot of activity around the athletic fields in Milford here today. Track meet going on behind us. If I judge solely from the color of the uniforms, I would say it may be Sharon out there against Milford in the track side of things. Here on the softball field, the bases are empty, 2 outs, and Milford looking for something out of their first baseman, Lucy Creedon, to keep the inning alive. One ball and 1 strike the count. The next pitch on the way, that buzzes inside on Creedon. Lucy grounded out to first base. Back in the first inning, 0 for 1 on the day. She's been one of the top hitters in this lineup through the early part of the season, batting .350, 7 hits in 20 at-bats. Lays off that pitch high, and that runs the count full. Should Creedon reach, Carly Ferreira would have a chance to bat in the inning. Here is the payoff pitch, and it's popped up behind the plate, and that drifts out of play. A tough at bat being put on here by Creedon. She digs back in on the right side as White stares into her battery mate. Now into the windup and the pitch. It is swung on and missed. So in the end, Alexa White wins the battle, strikes out 2 more in the inning. That strikeout total now up to 7 through the first 3 innings of this one. On to the 4th we go. It is still 4-0 Taunton over Milford here on Milford TV. Top of the 4th inning here from the softball field at Milford High School. Tim Coet on the call for Milford TV. 2 classic Hockomock League rivals here in Milford and Taunton squaring off. Just some outstanding battles between these 2 schools. They've split their last 4 meetings over the previous 4 seasons. Taunton with the upper hand in this one so far with a far more experienced roster. Matchup of the last 2 Division I state champions. A 1-ball, no strike count to the number 7 hitter, Kelsey White. Now watches that pitch hit the inside corner. In both the 2017 and 2018 seasons, these teams met on the very first day of the regular season. And most people will remember back in 2017, it was Taunton who used a late game surge to hand Milford a 4-1 loss on the opening day of the 2017 season. And the reason that that loss is significant is it is the only loss that Milford suffered in that 2017 year. They ran the table the rest of the way, all the way to that D1 state championship. Last season, Milford able to just edge out the Tigers with an 8-7 win on the first game of the year. But of course, it ended up being the Tigers that were the last team standing when all was said and done last year in D1. It's a 3-ball, 2-strike count now to Kelsey White leading off the 4th. Here's the payoff, and it's lifted foul out of play over the first base dugout. Kelsey White with a fly out to center field her first time up. Another 3-2 and another foul ball. Morelli wearing out that outside part of the plate. Trying to stay away from the power from Kelsey White. Right-hander digs back into the box. And Morelli set to go. Another 3-2 pitch. This one drops in low for ball 4. It was walks that got Morelli into trouble last inning. She ended up walking 2, and both of those walks came around to score. Walks the leadoff batter for the 2nd straight inning. And puts a runner on ahead of Taya DaCosta. Drove in a run on a ground out in the 2nd inning. At the time made it a 2-0 game. Showing bunt. The pitch is fouled just to the right of the left side batter's box. So 0-1 the count as everyone resets. Here is the 0-1 pitch, and it's hit on the ground back up the middle and through for a base hit. White touches second base, moves right on to third as the throw comes back into Wenkus. A single for DaCosta. She is at first base. White able to go first to third. And so this is the best start to an inning that Taunton has had so far. Now 2 on with nobody out. And a courtesy runner coming out to replace DaCosta. Kylie Thorpe. A freshman on this Taunton roster out on the base paths now, with the catcher Riley Murphy about to dig in. And the first pitch misses. A bluff throw from Fauerbeck down to second base, but instead keeping our eyes firmly on the runner at third. So DaCosta in with the steal. An off-speed pitch in for a strike. A low-scoring game for Taunton yesterday, notching just 2 runs against the tough pitching of Franklin as this ball is bunted out in front of the plate. Fauerbeck had a chance as she dove for it, but that must have dropped down to the dirt as it was eventually backed up by Morelli. Excellent effort for Fauerbeck. She just couldn't get there. All Morelli could do was hold on to it. Everyone's safe, and a tough spot now for Morelli. That will go as a bunt base hit to load the bases with nobody out and the top of the Taunton order coming to the plate. And quickly now, Coach DeVito out from the third base dugout. He brings the entire infield in for a conference. You think about Olivia Morelli out there in the circle, a freshman with a lot of potential, looking to gain experience. This is one of these situations where, regardless of how it ultimately plays out, you know this is something that's going to only help her continue to get better. She has a long and hopefully successful career ahead of her with this Milford softball program. But now set to face the leadoff hitter, Jamie Brown, with the bases loaded. And now the first pitch, that's in the dirt, skips away from the catcher to the backstop it goes, and into score from third base is White to make it a 5-0 game. So some nerves from Morelli. That wild pitch brings in a run. 5-0 lead, and now a 2-ball, no strike count. DaCosta is now the lead runner at third with Murphy at second. Thorpe is the lead runner at third. And a 3-0 count to Jamie Brown. Here's the pitch, and that is up and away for ball 4. It is a courtesy runner at second base as well, Skylar Reum, replacing Riley Murphy. So courtesy runners at second and third with Jamie Brown at first. The base is reloaded, still looking for an out in this inning. The first pitch sent foul out of play off the bat of Abby McDonough. 4 walks now in the game for Morelli. And facing Abby McDonough now, who has 2 sacrifice bunts to her credit through her first 2 plate appearances. likely won't be bunting in this situation. Instead, stings a ground ball to first base, and Lucy Creedon fires to the plate to get the out there. Good fundamental play from Lucy Creedon. The force goes 3-2. McDonough safe at first base on the fielder's choice. Still a 5-0 score. Reum now the lead runner at third base, Brown at second, McDonough at first. One down for the dangerous bat of Hannah Aldrich. And we mentioned it during her previous at bat, but 6 home runs already on the season for Aldrich. 14 runs batted in, so not the bat you want to see coming to the plate in this situation. Right now a 1-ball, 1-strike count. She's been quiet so far, did notch an RBI on a ground out in the first inning, and then walked her last time up, came around to score. Aldrich ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike. The pitch skips in, held on to by Fauerbeck. No spot for Aldrich on the bases. Here is the 3-1, and that is low for ball 4. The third walk in the inning, and this will force in a run as Reum crosses the plate to make it 6-0 Taunton. Second RBI for Aldrich on the day. 1 on a ground out, and now 1 on a bases loaded free pass. And a first pitch ball to Peyton Siglarski. 1 for 2 with an RBI. 2-0 now the count. Testing the resolve of Olivia Morelli on the circle. And now a ground ball hit back up the middle. Diving attempt for Amanda Wenkes. She's able to flip to second base to get the out. Now a second run trying to come home. And so Amanda Wenkes with a tremendous play on the front side in the full out dive, and was able flat on her stomach to get that throw to second base in time to get the force play. Not quite sure what the argument is here from Coach DeVito. I don't know if maybe he's arguing some interference on the throw into the plate. Initially talking to the home plate umpire, now the conversation taking place with the infield ump. So as it stands, a fielder's choice for Siglarski. Aldrich out on the force play at second base, and right now Brown and McDonough have both scored. And Siglarski ended up taking second base on the throw into the plate, so a lot of moving parts on the play.
Sorry, I'm having trouble understanding you. Repeat that once more.
And so I think the conversation right now is involving the runner perhaps getting in the way of that throw coming into the plate. But everything is going to stand as initially called. So 2 runs come in on the play. And Coach DeVito still hot as he heads back to the third base dugout. It is now a 7-0 score. There are 2 outs in the inning. Now a hard ground ball to third base. Wenkes with an ill-advised throw to first base, but a nice job for Creedon to pick that, keeping it on the infield. Once it got past Ferreira, there was really no chance to get an out. An infield base hit for Mackenzie McAloon. That's her second hit on the day. The courtesy runner up to third base, and now a swing and a miss for Ava Venturelli, the 9th batter to come to the plate in the inning. Two in scoring position now after that steal. One ball, one strike count. I believe the courtesy runner at third base is Paige Silva. As the pitch misses, gets briefly away from Fauerbeck, but not enough for the runners to try and advance. So it has been a 4-run rally so far in the inning. Milford also cutting down 1 run at the plate. The 2-1 pitch hit on the ground to shortstop. Backhanded stab by Wenkus, and another good throw to first base. Wenkus flashing the leather in the inning, saving some damage done on the scoreboard, but still plenty of work put in by Taunton in the frame. They score 4 times to open up an 8-0 lead on Milford. And we will head to the home half of the 4th inning when we return next on Milford TV. Taunton scoring 4 times in the 4th inning despite really not ever getting the ball out of the infield. We are now into the bottom of the 4th inning. Scoreboard getting a little ahead of themselves. They have the 5th inning up there on the scoreboard, but it is in fact the bottom of the 4th. Also 2 outs on the scoreboard right now, shortchanging Milford a bit there as well, as Carly Ferreira is leading off the inning. So trying to get things straightened out technically as this half inning gets started. Carly Ferreira taking a strike. Another blistering fastball out of the hand of Alexa White. 1-2 on Ferreira. And takes that pitch inside. This has been a tough couple of days for the Scarlet Hawks. They were scheduled to play North Attleboro on Tuesday of this week as Ferreira strikes out. That game ended up getting postponed today due to rain. And so as a result, they played North Attleboro just 24 hours ago. And so Milford having to face the talented North Attleboro pitcher Bella Erdy yesterday and now facing Alexa White today. So it has not been easy going in the batter's box for any of these Milford hitters. White notching her 8th strikeout to open up this 4th inning. Now, Elise Fauerbeck down in the count, 0-2. She started that rally in the 2nd inning with a base hit, one of 3 straight hits for Milford, but unfortunately they could not do anything with it, and this time Fauerbeck down on 3 pitches, and looks like White is only getting stronger as this game goes along. Those 3 hits in the 2nd inning, the only 3 base runners that Milford has had. 1, 2, 3 innings in the 1st and the 3rd for White, and she's quickly retired the first 2 batters in the 4th. Megan Hart trying to do something with 2 down. Takes that pitch inside. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, and the base is empty. And that pitch outside, Hart able to hold up on the swing. Swing and a miss. It was a 2-strike pitch that Hart was able to fight out into left center field for a base hit her last time up. Here's the 2-2 offering, and it's waved at and missed. And quickly, Alexa White able to dispatch the side in order. 3 strikeouts in the inning. And an 8-0 lead for Taunton over Milford as now we head to the 5th inning, coming up right after this here on Milford TV. Several changes to tell you about for Milford starting this top half of the 5th inning. We begin in the pitcher's circle where Olivia Morelli's day is done after 4 innings pitched. She's replaced by April Swain, who comes in from center field. Lucy Creedon moves from first base to center. Megan Hart moves from second base to third, with Olivia Morelli taking over at second base and Carly Ferreira sliding across the diamond to first base. And Swain guides that first pitch in for a called strike. So now it is Fowler back behind the plate with Megan Hart at third, Amanda Wenka still at short, with Olivia Morelli at second and Carly Ferreira at first. Left to right in the outfield, it is Waldrop, Creedon, and Muskilly. One ball and one strike the count to Kelsey White. Leading off an inning for the second straight frame. She began the 4-run rally for Taunton last inning with a walk. A 2-ball, 1-strike count, and a quick conversation taking place as the home plate umpire wanders out to the circle. Two and one on White, who is 0 for 1 with that walk. And now the pitch misses inside. Unconventional delivery from April Swain, but she's been effective at times on the season. She does have the lowest ERA on the staff, as here she induces the pop-up out to center field. Lucy Creedon tested right away, and she's able to come in to make the catch. So the leadoff batter is retired for the first time all game for Milford pitching. So for April Swain, this is now her 7th appearance in the circle. Coming into the game, she had made 4 starts. In 21 2/3 innings, she has a 5.17 ERA and a funky delivery, so you wonder if maybe that keeps some of these hitters off balance. She's allowed just 16 earned runs. She has 9 strikeouts to 10 walks, so the command can be in and out for Swain. Getting ahead of Tea DaCosta, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And that pitch in for a called strike 3. So that was Kylie Thorpe, my apologies, the pinch hitter batting in the number 8 spot in the lineup. So Thorpe with a strikeout. Nothing in 1 the count now on the number 9 hitter, Riley Murphy. Murphy reached on a bit of a strange play last inning. And so something in the delivery that the home plate umpire has taken issue with on a couple of pitches in this inning. So maybe looking for a little bit more of a fluid motion out of that delivery. It looked like from the gesture from the umpire that she's putting the ball back in the glove after she started her windup. It is now a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Chance for Milford to collect their first 1-2-3 inning. It's a ground ball that goes through the wickets of Swain and out into center field. A chance to make the play, but just could not get that glove down in time. And Murphy with a single that keeps the inning alive, turns the lineup over. And more pinch hitters now coming up for head coach Dave Lurie. So we'll now see Skylar Reum take the place of Jamie Brown in the leadoff spot. Jamie Brown had been 1 for 1. She doubled to lead off the game and then walked in the 3rd and 4th innings. Scored 3 runs, drove in 1. It's a very productive day out of the leadoff spot. Now a called strike towards the top of the zone. Temperature cooling off a bit here as we get into the late innings. Light cloud cover overhead and the breeze blowing in as this ball is hit. A tough hop for Amanda Wenkes. That actually might have gone off of Wenkes' right foot. Ricochets out into center field for another hit. Everyone checking on Wenkes, who says she's okay, likely more frustrated than anything. Wenkes has had a very nice day defensively, but could not make a play on that tough hop. And so now a rally with 2 outs in the making here in the 5th inning. Back-to-back base hits. And a 1 pitch drifts outside. Abby McDonough still up there. And now a line drive back up the middle, down for a base hit. Wenkes grabs it, sends the throw in towards shortstop as the runner comes around from second base to score. No relay in towards the plate. And so 3 straight hits with 2 outs in the inning. McDonough able to grab an RBI to make it 9-0 Taunton. Murphy able to come around from second base. Skylar Reumans up at third base, so runners at the corners with 2 down. Hannah Aldrich. Aldrich with her 4th trip to the plate. She has also walked twice.
No, you're fine. You keep capturing stuff. That way we definitely get stuff.
2 balls and no strikes, the count to Aldrich, who sends a hard ground ball to second base. It sneaks under the glove of Morelli. 1 run comes in to score. And held up at third base. This is McDonough. Another run for the Tigers. They now reach double digits, taking a 10-0 lead. McDonough goes first to third on the RBI single for Hannah Aldrich. And now a called strike delivered on the outer edge to the next pinch hitter coming up, Paige Silva. And she pops this one up down the left field line. It's foul and out of play. That breeze now blowing more right to left across the field, sending that ball out of play. So Silva takes the place of Peyton Siglarski, who had a hit and an RBI through 3 plate appearances. It's an 0-2 count now on Silva. And she sends a line drive foul and out of play down the right field line.
No, I don't have anything from you.
No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning.
I'll come out with it.
2 more runs crossing the plate so far in the frame, as the pitch skips in for a ball.
Once the inning ends, Igor, yeah, you're not come over and you're gonna start directing until we figure out what's going on.
Now the 1-2 pitch hit hard and foul. Silva served as a courtesy runner last inning. Now with her first at bat. So we've seen several changes in the lineup for head coach Dave Lurie as this inning has gone along. Next pitch on the way, and it's popped up around second base, now drifting in towards the first base bag, but Megan Hart able to hang in to make the catch for the out that ends the inning. But 2 more runs come home for the Tigers. They take an even 10-0 lead on the Milford Scarlet Hawks here on Milford TV. We enter into the bottom of the 5th inning, and Taunton running away with this one now, a 10-0 lead. We haven't seen a tremendous amount of power out of these Taunton bats, but they have done what they needed to do to build up this lead. A lot of walks, a lot of patient at bats. And when they have had opportunities, they have capitalized. And certainly plenty of offense to back up Alexa White, although she does give up a bloop base hit here to lead off the home half of the 5th. April Swain, her second hit in as many at-bats against Alexa White today. And so now Molly Moskili will take her second at-bat and takes a called strike. And it is Katie Watson batting in the place of Moskili. Pinch hitter now for the Scarlet Hawks after we saw a trio of pinch hitters come up in the top half of the inning for Taunton. And Waldrop unable to catch up to those fastballs. Another strikeout victim for Alexa White. One out, that runner still at first base. And Natalie Casilli now will grab a bat, replacing Taylor Waldrop. One ball and 1 strike the count. So the bench is starting to get emptied out here for both teams in these late innings. Two balls and 1 strike now on Casilli. In one at bat, Taylor Waldrop went 0 for 1 with a K. Here's the 2-1 pitch, and Casilli stepping up with that slash attempt, but could not catch up. Here's a 2-2 now, and again, a swing and a miss. Back-to-back strikeouts of the 8 and 9 hitters. That is exactly what Alexa White was able to do in the second inning. Really the only time that she was challenged so far in the game, facing the bases loaded with 1 out, was able to strike out back-to-back hitters to end the inning. And now here with 2 outs, the first pitch pop-up for Olivia Morelli that's caught by the catcher a few steps down the third base line, and that concludes the home half of the 5th inning. And so Milford wastes the leadoff base hit from Lucy Creedon. It is still 10-0 Taunton over Milford here on Milford TV. April Swain back in the circle for her second inning of relief. She deals in ball 1 to Haley Hartung, who is the next pinch hitter off the bench for Taunton. Batting out of the number 5 spot to lead off the top of the 6th. Hartung taking the place in the batting order, I should say, of Mackenzie McAloon, who went 2 for 3 with a run batted in, also had a stolen base. And Hartung with a walk to open up the 6th. It's the first walk for Swain, but the 6th walk of the day for Milford pitching. And now a first pitch pop-up out onto the shallow right center field grass. Morelli out and was in some trouble there right at the end, but was able to hang with it to make the catch. And so Venturelli out on just one pitch. Now 1 for 4 on the day, 1 out and a runner at first base now. The pitch misses low. And it's Olivia Mendonca who replaces Kelsey White in the number 7 spot in the lineup. And I am officially fresh out of pinch hitting spots in my scorecard, so things will get interesting here for the rest of the game. Ground ball hits slowly to third base. Hart with a little indecision now. Her throw to first base is offline, kicks off the glove of Carly Ferreira. So safe at first base, the lead runner able to advance to third. Runners at the corners with 1 down. So the first error on the day charged on that errant throw to first base. A 1-ball, 1-strike count on Kylie Thorpe, who now takes her second at bat since coming into the game last inning. She ended up striking out looking against Swain. She's down in the count here, 1-2. Yeah, now misses up and away. Clouds getting a bit heavier now as we get towards 5:30 in the evening. Two-ball, 2-strike count after that ground ball. Sent foul down the third base line, trickling past our third base camera operator, Scott Crisafulli. A great crew once again on hand for our coverage this afternoon. A 2-2 pitch from Swain is hit on the ground to shortstop. Winkus gets the out at second base. No chance to turn the double play. Safe at first was Thorpe, and in the back door from third base to score. Taunton now able to take an 11-0 lead. Mendonca cut down at second base, so now the lone runner is at first. So fielder's choice and an RBI for Kylie Thorpe. And now a hard ground ball in and out of the glove of April Swain at third base. Everyone's safe. That was a hard smash off the bat of Riley Murphy, who is now 3 for 4 on the day. 3 singles. Runners at first and second base. This Taunton bench still not satisfied. They want to see more offense here in the late innings. And a line drive out towards the gap in right center field, down for a base hit. 1 run will come in to score. Thorpe crossing the plate. A second run now on the way home as Riley Murphy is able to score as well on the 2-run triple. That really busts this game open. 13-0 now the score. So Skylar Reum taking her second at bat in the place of Jamie Brown. Able to bring 2 more runs to the plate. And now the pitch drifts outside out of the hand of April Swain. So now giving up 5 runs in an inning and 2/3 of relief. Pitch misses down and in now. And the pitch misses low. Abby McDonough still operating out of her number 2 spot in the lineup. Ahead in the count, 3 balls and a strike. And now sends a ground ball underneath the glove of Morelli at second base. That chases home Skylar Reum. And the hits just keep on coming in this 6th inning. An RBI now for McDonough, her second of the afternoon. And you can make it now 14-0. Taunton hanging a 4 spot on the scoreboard for the 2nd time in the game. They scored 4 times in the 4th inning. They have scored at least 1 run in every inning so far this afternoon. That pitch getting away from Elise Fauerbeck, allowing McDonough to get up to second base. And another one down in the dirt. And did that one hit Hannah Aldrich? It did indeed. Getting her off the foot, so she will head down to first base. Swain trying to find a way to get out of this inning. It's been another tough one. And a chance now for Paige Silva. She grounded out to second base to conclude last inning. Batting out of the cleanup spot that was previously occupied by Peyton Siglarski. Now a called strike evens the count at 1-1. And now another pitch in the dirt, again skips away from the catcher, and both runners will advance. And the command really faltering for April Swain in this 6th inning. So McDonough is now at third with Aldrich at second. Now the next pitch sent foul underneath the feet of the third base coach for the Tigers. Milford will stay home for their next game, which will come up this weekend, a Saturday 3:45 game against non-conference Westboro. Hopefully conditions here at the field will be playable. A lot of rain expected to come through the area tomorrow into the beginning parts of Saturday. So we'll see if that game ends up getting played. Another pitch in the dirt for Swain, and another run comes home for the Taunton Tigers. The pitch missing for ball 4. And with the ball going to the backstop, Abby McDonough crosses the plate to make it 15-0. And we'll see some more changes now for head coach Steve DeVito As it looks like we'll see a new pitcher on. We'll pause for the change. It is now Taunton 15 and Milford nothing here on this coverage of Scarlet Hawks Athletics on Milford TV. The third pitcher of the day for the Scarlet Hawks is Megan Hart. Started the day at second base, slid over to third defensively with Swain in the circle. But now takes over as the third Milford arm, and with that change in the circle, most of the defensive alignment going back to where they started the day. Carly Ferreira back at third, Lucy Creedon back at first, Swain back in center with Morelli at second base, and now Hart in the circle. A 1-ball, no strike count now to the 10th Taunton batter of the inning. It is Haley Hartung who walked her last time up. Hartung leading off this inning with a walk. And now ahead in the count, 3-1. And fouling that ball off herself, it ended up ricocheting out towards the right side of the infield, but a dead ball. And a 3-2 count now on Hartung. Hart winds and fires. The pitch popped up. Will it stay on the field? Over as far as she can go is Elise Fauerbeck, but that one over the chain link and out of play. And again, the runners retreat to first and third base. And another payoff pitch on the way from Hart, and it's sent out to shallow center field, and that will drop in for a base hit. 1 run scores. Hartung just dropping that one down out into the shallow right center field grass. And she collects an RBI. It's 16-0 now the score. It has been a 6-run sixth. And more on the way as this ball is sent out to left center field. A nice bid actually out there in left, but off the glove of Natalie Casilli. And that will make it a 17-0 score as Ava Venturelli gets the RBI base hit. And runners now at the corners. And a rifle shot out into the left center field gap. Off the bat of Mendonca. And this will chase home more damage on the scoreboard for Taunton. That ended up bringing 2 runs to the plate. So it is now 19-0. A 2-run double for Olivia Mendonca. Taunton just refusing to relent here in this 6th inning. A lot of damage done with 2 outs. This is now the 2nd highest run total that Milford has allowed on the season. The Foxborough Warriors able to score 21 runs in a 21-5 blowout win back on April 10th. This ball hits softly to third base. Ferreira has to rush the throw, but she gets it there in time for the out that finally brings an end to the top half of the 6th inning, but Taunton blowing it wide open 19-0. And the bottom of the 6th inning will come your way right after this here on Milford TV. The early innings of this game, Milford was able to hold their own against this Tigers team, this defending state championship team. It was just a 2-0 lead after 2 innings, still a close ball game as we got into the 4th inning with Taunton leading 4-0, but it has been a very different story since then. Taunton pouring it on in the late innings, getting into the Milford bullpen. And a 9-run 6th inning, allowing Taunton to open up a 19-0 lead, and Milford will need to do what they haven't been able to do in the first 5 innings of this game, and that is put up a serious rally against Alexa White if this game is going to last beyond the 6th. Amanda Wenkus reaching out, making contact with that ball and fouling it away to stay alive 1-2. Wenkus 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop-up. And Alexa White scattering 4 hits through the first 5 innings of this game and has 12 strikeouts. Misses inside with that pitch. So Taunton on the verge of getting back on track after that first loss of the season to Franklin yesterday. Wenkus making contact but popping it up out into center field, and a basket catch made out in center field, just keeping that one off the grass. A catch made by Kylie Thorpe, now out in center field. Very nice catch. I'm going to come a long way. One down now for Lucy Creedon. Creedon hitless through her first 2 at-bats. She grounded out to first base in the first and struck out swinging in the third. Now a called strike brings the count to 0-2. As I mentioned, Milford will play Westboro in their next game. Taunton will take on the Attleboro Bombardiers. But a bit of a layoff coming up for Taunton. They'll be off for the next 5 days. Their next game not until April 30th, when they will host Attleboro. 3 straight home games coming up for the Tigers against the Bombardiers, home against Canton, and also home against the Mansfield Hornets. And now a line drive right back to the backstop, and the count goes to 1-2. Set by White, her next pitch. And that narrowly misses the outside part of the plate. A good take for Creedon. And now the 2-2 fouled away. Out of play off to the right. Another narrow miss of a vehicle for that foul ball off in the parking lot. It was bright sunny skies when this game began, but the clouds have continued to roll in. And now a swing and a miss as Creedon is down on strikes, the 13th K for White. And Milford down to their last out, as right now we are well within the range of the mercy rule. 12-run lead through 5 innings, the MIAA mercy rule. Again, just strange territory for these Milford fans. So often on the other side of these kind of scores through the last several years, but another tough loss in the making here this afternoon. One ball and one strike on Carly Ferreira, who has struck out in both of her previous at-bats on the day. Now watches that pitch miss low. White ready with her next pitch, swung on and missed. And the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs and the bases empty. Ferreira quickly digs back in. And White ready. Here is the 2-2 pitch. It is swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts for Alexa White to finish off yet another 1-2-3 inning. 14 strikeouts through 6 innings of work for Alexa White, dominant from start to finish, and that will put the finishing touches on what will be a mercy rule victory for Taunton here today, the defending state champs in championship form, as they defeat Milford in 6 innings by a final score of 19-0. So with the loss, Milford now falls to 1-7 overall on the season, still in search of their first win within Hockomock League play. And the Tigers now improve to 8-1 on the year, their 5th victory against Hockomock League competition. Well, that will wrap up our coverage here for this afternoon. A big thank you to our Milford TV crew on hand, our director for the game, Patrick Garapi, and our camera operators, Scott Crisafulli and Igor Freeman. And I am Tim Coet. That final score, one final time in 6 innings. Taunton defeats Milford by a final score of 19-0. This has been a presentation of Milford High School Athletics here on Milford TV. So long, everybody.